That's not a knife. That's a knife. This is my Buck 120 General. Pretty knife. I spent about a year thinking about what kind of knife I wanted. This is a part of my camping equipment. And in a previous, actually my first camping video, I showed a lot of pride in my axe. Did a lot of study with it too. It's just something about guys and blades. We take a lot of pride in our blades. It's a primitive thing, it's a survival, I don't know. It's just something that men love, blades. And so I don't have a lot that really serve a great purpose, like practical purpose to me. I think swords are cool, but what am I gonna do with that? You know, you just get a pistol, right? Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. But, you know, what if you run out of ammo? Every man needs a knife, a good one. And a knife is something that when you select it, it's more than just a tool. It's a part of your identity as a man. So it should speak to you. I went all the way to Radcliffe, Kentucky with my wife and kids to a knife store. This place was very, very impressive. I mean, it had talk about a selection of knives, man, nothing like that here. And so I knew that if I went there, it'd be worth the trip, because I knew if I went there that whatever I came out with was what spoke to me. So I looked at every knife. I thought for about a year about exactly what kind of knife I needed for camping. And I realized what I'm mostly going to be doing is sharpening sticks and batoning wood, and maybe using it to cut fish or cut game, or just whatever, or cutting paracord, or just whatever that you need. The other thing I thought of that I would need it for would be self-defense. And another thing that I thought of that I wanted was for my knife to have an intimidating look. It took me a while to realize that I want it to look scary. Now, why is that? Because it has a psychological effect on anyone that might try to, you know, be a danger or a threat. If they see a intimidating looking knife on your hip, they're probably going to think twice about approaching you. Like, who would want to get stabbed with this? I don't know about you, but I wouldn't. And that's kind of part of it. So thinking about what I needed, I knew I needed something small, something nimble. So I thought, well, I need something that's not too long, you know, because I need to be able to put a lot of leverage. I don't want there to be a lot of leverage because I'm sharpening sticks. It's going to be a lot of, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be close to here, because something too long, it's going to be out here and there's too much leverage. So I thought about that, but I was like, well, it also needs to be deadly. It needs to be a weapon too. So it's like, well, it does need to be long and it needs to look scary. So I thought that the Bowie was, for me, the best blade style. I thought for a very long time about the kukri style blade, but that's more for batoning wood, and it's kind of like a machete. I realized I didn't really need a machete. This isn't the jungle. This is Kentucky, a lot of just woods. And I also have an axe for wood. You know, if I'm gonna cut on wood, I'll use my axe. What I need a knife for is for sharpening, cutting paracord, like I said, various other things, game, just a sharp blade edge, and something that would make a good weapon. So instead of having like a curved or a too big, you know, it'd be too heavy. I wanted something light, something nimble, something straight, and something that could both cut, shave, but also just kind of like pierce too, if you had to defend yourself. The reason why this Bowie style knife stood out to me so much with all the other ones, like I looked at a whole bunch of other really cool ones. I mean, big, gnarly looking knives, but this one just kind of had this menacing, dramatic, intimidating, angry look. I mean, this knife just looks like it needs to, you know, repent of its sins and give its life to Jesus. This has just got that whiskey runs with the blood, redneck, Hell's Angels, motorcycle, bar brawl appearance. And that's why I liked it. It looks like bad news. And so, yeah, you know, it's just a knife. Get a little close look at it. Comes with a black leather sheath too, you know. Don't know what that's for. They say it's to like reduce vacuum as you're pulling it out of like flesh, that it like reduces the vacuum, makes it easier to pull it out, but that's not what it's for. I think it's just for looks. Razor edge, I mean, I can shave with it. I've already shaved parts of my arm. You can see I've shaved it. So yeah, that's my Buck 120 General. Another thing, this is actually a movie knife. If you watched any of the Scream movies, this might look familiar to you. This is the exact knife that Ghostface uses. And it was also used a lot in 80s movies. So this knife has a like old school appeal, like a vintage 70s, 80s kind of old man, kind of southern redneck appeal to it, which is why I like it. Gail's delivering me the bait that she caught for me. Good job, babe. Trophy fish. Okay. Thank you, babe. Okay. She's so talented. That's how I'd want to be done if it was me. So we'll put this aside. So I think that just about sums it up for the fire. See, Bowie knives has this curve right here. One of the things you can use it for also is splitting wood. Kind of like this tarp actually has several different uses. You can use it as a footprint, but you can also use it if it's raining. You can start a fire by putting it over your head and striking a ferrule rod where raindrops aren't hitting. And you can also use it to gather firewood. Take it with you and just kind of like lay it out, gather firewood, throw it on it, and then kind of take up the four corners and carry it over your shoulder. Camping is one of those activities where you have to think a lot about what style of a camper you're going to be. Gail and I, we don't like to make plans. We don't like to have an agenda. I don't like having things on my agenda. That my camping style is I'm always ready to deploy everything, and I'm always ready to break it and put it back together. You have to know what not to bring. And you have your equipment, and you get good equipment, and you manage it, and you take good care of it. I have this paracord with these clips. I'm gonna try to like make a place to take a shower. Okay, so I have this paracord and I have this tarp with these two things. I have this shower. Sunlight hits this right here. And of course, as you know, when sunlight hits black, it gets it warm. And so it slowly warms up the water that's in there, so you don't have a cold shower. But I also have to have privacy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to use this tarp. And in a previous video, I talked about this tarp and how we use it as like a latrine privacy thing. Like you hang it up on that paracord and it gives you a wall. But with this one, I have neighbors on both sides, so I'm thinking about making like a V shape. We'll see what happens, and then wrap it around a tree. Might work, might not, who knows. This would definitely work. Just not very good, and my paracord's not long enough. Paracord's not long enough for that. I need to get a longer piece for these. I really like these little bottles. I put every important liquid in these. They are some kind of, I forgot what you call this, some kind of rubber. It's like a petroleum based. One big thing to know about these, latex or whatever, you don't want to put petroleum products in this, like lighter fluid or any kind of petroleum, because if you do, I don't know what happened. I put some in one and it just vanished. It didn't spill out. Nothing smelled like the petroleum. I think that this rubber or latex, whatever, is petroleum based and just absorbed it into itself. But the great thing about these is they don't leak. Like, you screw it on, makes a good gasket. They don't leak, and they can take an impact. You know, they're not gonna crack or break. So with this one, I got soy sauce. And you know, I use these too. Sometimes these are they're short on these. Got body wash. The reason why you want to put all the necessary liquids and semi-solids in these small bottles is for space. You want to make room. You want to have everything that you need, but you want to be able to fit it all in this small bat, like something like this. You have everything in there. So soy sauce, body wash, a little deodorant, like a travel deodorant. You already know about this thing. I believe this is cooking oil. No, this is mineral oil. I use mineral oil if I need to sharpen my axe or my knife on this stone. You want to use a light oil, and mineral oil is the way to go. Alcohol. This is rubbing alcohol. If you get a cut or a nick, or you just might need it. Good thing to have. Environmentally friendly dish soap. Petroleum jelly. These are really good too. Very tiny. But I mean, man, if you just need something like a lip balm or a petroleum jelly multi-purpose thing, put in this. This is plastic. You don't have to worry about the bottle making it disappear in this container. Some kind of like antibiotic ointment. I have various ointments. This is actually a shaving gel. Vegetable oil for cooking. You've seen me use that in a previous video. Here's an empty one. I'm thinking maybe of putting laundry detergent. You know, you might not have a change of clothes. You can take the bucket, put some water in it and some laundry detergent, and just kind of agitate for a minute and have, you know, fairly clean clothes. Ketchup. Hot sauce that you don't have to refrigerate, and then after this little hot sauce is gone, you can continue to use the bottle. It kind of does this little number that opens up like that, you know, like the old school mustard bottles used to do. Another brand of the same thing, hot sauce basically. And this is linseed oil. I don't really think I need it, but I have it just because, you know, maybe I don't have much to do and I just want to sit out here and you know, give some TLC to some of my tools. I have that. Doesn't hurt to bring a few of these little flossers right here. What if you get something stuck between your teeth? I got these toothbrushes for really cheap, and I just broke them. I like snapped most of the handle off. And so we all have like these different colored, so we know whose is whose, toothbrushes. I mean, this is even cheaper and less mass than the travel ones that you can get. Just goes to show I'm really thinking good. Another bag I got is this small one. Keep a flask in here, just a small, you know, you get about 3.5 shots of some kind of liquor. So like after you built the campfire and all the kids goes to bed, it's nice to have, you know, about 3 shots of bourbon, sit and look at the fire you made and just kind of, you know, chill out with it for a minute before you go to bed. Instant coffee, got a whole bunch of those. Kind of thinking of upgrading from these little packets of instant coffee for the morning to like a outdoor French press that you can get at the outdoor store. I heard that the French press works really nice. Then I have a utility bag. this bag, you know, you want to keep bungee cord, might need it. A emergency poncho with duct tape wrapped around it, like wrapped around the bag. So I have a bunch of duct tape if I need it. Duct tape was actually invented during World War II. This is my belt that I carry my axe with. This belt, it's just a belt, but I made this paracord thing right here. I just carry my axe around. That way I got both of my hands free while I'm foraging for wood. A trash bag rolled up really small with rubber band around it. Because sometimes you might need a trash bag if it starts to rain. You never know. You should always bring an emergency trash bag. A freezer Ziploc bag, never know. Paracord with these neat little slide adjustable hooks. Extra stakes. Never know, you get a big gust of wind, you might need some extra stakes. And various chargers. Charger for the flashlight that we have, it's an LED flashlight. And the air pump. It's a battery powered air pump, that rechargeable battery powered air pump that we inflate our Sea to Summit mattress with. And you know that air pump is actually also a light. So this is my jig. Just gonna kind of show you. It's a lot. I got this great big sinker, and it just connects to a swivel, which connects to another swivel. It connects to this floaty that connects to this big hook, and then connects to the bait. So what happens is when you throw all this into a deep lake, the weight hits the bottom like that. And then the floaty thing kind of floats up, and as long as the bait's not too heavy, I don't think that's too heavy, then it'll kind of lift the bait up. I don't know if I'm far enough back. Off of the lake floor. It'll be like this. So basically, you're gonna have this fish head kind of hanging like that. And so if you got a catfish, they're opportunists. They're usually always at the bottom. They'll come up and they'll see this just kind of hanging there and be like, I want that. And then they'll grab it, and then boom, hooked. And then you got them. I think this jig right here is kind of designed for big fish. Anyway, let's see how it does.
Should I just let him go?
Yeah, I think so. Because we're done. You gotta pull enough tension on it. And then you just sit and wait for about 20 minutes. If nothing bites, throw it somewhere else. Fish are trying to eat my freaking toe. I think the reason why is because my toes stink. You can loosen the drag, since you got such a big weight on there, you can loosen the drag enough to walk back out like this without it moving your weight. All right, I'm gonna use the bait you got me. I just called to let you know where I'll be living. I really like to use the Igloo cooler. This has been definitely worth the money. It was like 30 bucks. The reason why I like this one is because of the type of people we are and the style of campers we are. You have to think about the kind of camper you're gonna be. Are you the type that's like, some people are like, well, you know, if I'm gonna pack up and go out there, I gotta stay for days. But I don't like to do that. I like to just go for one night. So, you know, I don't need a Yeti. If somebody got me a Yeti for Christmas, I'd be happy. You know, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be, but I just don't wanna pay that much money for a cooler when I can use 30 bucks or 24 bucks and get an Igloo that's gonna keep my food cold for the night. You know what I mean? It's still gonna be cold in the morning. And one thing I noticed about the Igloo is it's light. Like, Yetis are heavy. I tried to pick one up, but this is light. You know, and it keeps your food cold. Good morning.
Morning.
Did you sleep good? Was it fun? Yeah, it's pretty nice. It was quiet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very cool.
You know what? My damn hand thing's gone. Can't touch none of this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm cognizant of animals, they really cause problems.
Whoa,
Can't grab that. So I had an oven mitt that I brought, but I think the animals took it. They took a bunch of my stuff.
Go. No, like, yeah.
All right, we're on camera. We're gonna talk about our trip. So another successful camping trip in the books. I think it was pretty good. Had a very nice time here at Twin Knobs and Cave Run.
eating oatmeal, got coffee. It's always a success when you wake up, you eat breakfast, and you get coffee, and you get going. Gail, what'd you think?
Really good.
What? Any commentary?
Well, it's nice to wake up in the woods.
It is nice to wake up in the woods. So the way I do camping is very spur of the moment, like I said. So what we do is we pack up everything, and it's easy to do, it's quick. And then whether or not we actually camp is tentative upon if we actually want to be there or not. And it's a mutual thing that we both agree. It's like, yeah, I don't want to leave here today. So that's how we do it with camp. And, you know, we might just fish for the day, might not camp at all, you know, might just go home. It just depends. Depends on how I'm feeling, how she's feeling. And if we're somewhere really nice, it's like, I don't want to leave, we'll stick around, we'll camp out. That's how we do it. This trip was more focused on fishing. It's more about fishing this time than camping, but it's nice to be able to have all the stuff that you need to not go home each and every time. And you can deploy it really quick, and you can pack it up and leave really quick. So it gives you like a dimension or an ability that you never had before. You can look into a forest and say, wow, you know, I want to stay right there today. Catherine, did you have fun? Maddie, did you have fun? She says yeah. Well, anyway, that's it for my camping video part 3. Like I always say, I'm a professional indoorsman who likes to try to be an outdoorsman. Well, that's all for our outdoorsman camping video. Hope you enjoyed it. God bless. Stay safe out there.